This is a really exciting interview I got with the Minswap guys here. I have Adrian and Ramik joining me from the Minswap team, and we're going to go through a couple of catalyst or a few catalyst proposals. These ones I think are really impactful, but we're going to dig into them to learn a little bit more about how they're impactful, how they're going to affect us as community members, and what wider impact it's going to have for the Cardano ecosystem. So, guys, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Peter, for having us here today.
Now, I know you guys. I know who you are. Ramik, you're fairly new as well. But can we get a little bit of an intro as to who you are and how you're involved in the Cardano ecosystem? And perhaps we'll start with you first, Adrian.
Yeah, so on Twitter, you might know me as Purito General. I've been around Cardano for a while, I think around 3 years now. I started by helping projects, all the DeFi projects, pretty much with proofreading and translating their white papers. And eventually I joined Minswap right before the launch in December 2021. And since then, I've been leading the growth team. So anything to do with partnerships, tokenomics, I write all the Medium articles, for example. And yeah, one of the tasks is also to do the catalyst proposals, see what things we can improve that will help Minswap and Cardano as well.
And yourself, Ramik, you're fairly new to the team. How are you involved with Minswap?
So, I have been doing Web3 marketing and advising for the past 6 years in crypto. For the last 3 years, I have been niched down to Cardano DeFi, stablecoins, and RWA specifically. I've had the chance to work with industry leaders like Algorand, Cello, Near, Rarible, and people like them help build a more decentralized, better future for us back in the days. And right now with Minswap, I'm helping Furito on the growth side of things. I'm doing basically growth activities like the ones that Furito mentioned, catalyst partnerships and stuff like that.
That's brilliant. And it's cool that you're bringing some more experience from other ecosystems over to Cardano as well. So your exposure there will be greatly valued, I think. This very first proposal that I'd like to go through, it's around the smart tokens. So you've teamed up with Fluid Tokens here to do smart tokens for Cardano. Can we talk about this one and what exactly a smart token is first?
So this proposal in particular is one of the biggest proposals for us, and not just for us, but also for Fluid Tokens, because we are partnering with them to build a smart token mix. Now the question comes, as you already asked, what the hell is smart token? So in a layman terms, smart token is just like any other regular token, except it can authorize transactions. Like you see, like other tokens and stuff like that, they carry important data. But smart tokens, on the other hand, they are programmable and they carry value at the same time as data as well. They have the capability to manipulate the value of token by holding all the necessary data required for a smooth transaction.
This comes into play with the programmable tokens, something that is needed for, it's said it's needed for USDC and other stablecoins that may enter in the Cardano ecosystem. So I think that may be why we need something like this. Is that correct?
Yes, you're absolutely spot on. So as I mentioned earlier, smart token is just like another normal token, except it can carry value, it can authorize transactions, and it can do other stuff apart from just carrying data. The CIP 113 proposal, which is a groundbreaking proposal, this proposal introduces smart tokens to Cardano. And the smart tokens are mainly here, like we are trying to build the smart token this mainly for the purpose of if Circle or if any other entity wants to bring stablecoins on board to Cardano, they don't have the infrastructure right now. So this will build the infrastructure for them to onboard to Cardano. And there are several other advantages as well.
What about real world assets? Is this needed for RWAs that may be tokenizing on chain? But I gather that might be the case, but I'm not too sure about that. And why would they need a smart token for it?
Yeah, this is for smart token. They have different use cases. The most prominent one would be the one for USDT, USDC, where they need smart token because they need to be able to freeze it. Some people do consider stablecoins as RWA. So if that addresses your question. In a sense, yeah, the proposal does have to do with RWA.
It'll be good to understand why you guys want to be involved with the what Fluid Tokens is work on here.
Yeah, so basically Minswap Labs and Fluid Tokens as well, we are part of the Intersect working group on stablecoins. And actually, maybe recently you saw we received a grant of 25K US dollar to do some research. And yeah, in one of these sessions, we were brainstorming with Fluid Tokens. They introduced this, the CIP 113. We really think after much debating and yeah, the Fluid Tokens, they really understand Cardano and architecture. They were really advocating that CIP 113 is the only way that we can convince somebody like Circle or Tether to deploy if we have such a token standard, because they will not change their requirements for compliance to integrate Cardano. So we thought if we want to negotiate with Circle as part of the Intersect working group, it would be a great advantage to have the infrastructure ready. So they already came up with the CIP, which is already pretty much finished. And now we need to build the infrastructure to enable a very seamless integration. So when we are talking to different players like Circle, it will be much easier to say like we already have a DEX that, and we already have a token standard for this than if we don't. So that's why we thought it would be important. And there are other use cases for tokens in CIP 113, the smart tokens, that could be good for the smart token DEX as well. But I have to say the main one, the main reason driving this was the USDT, USDC infrastructure.
Gotcha. And when you say infrastructure, do you mean just all the code that's needed, or is it like actual nodes and off-chain services that are needed as well?
Well, no, this infrastructure piece, it's just the DEX because um, yeah, if we have the token standard, but nobody has built a DEX especially made for tokens within that token standard,
Gotcha.
then
Okay.
nobody can trade with those tokens. So
Yes, I understand totally now. Yes, because everything is all set up for Cardano tokens as it is now. Gotcha. Understood. Okay.
And like, just I would just wanted to add on top of what Adrian said, basically. So as he mentioned, that stablecoin is also a form of RWAs. RWAs are complex things which basically is like real world assets like houses and stuff like that being tokenized and brought into the crypto ecosystem. They are complex ones. So and smart tokens kind of allow them to be brought into the ecosystem in a way that smart tokens carry data, and at the same time they can do actions or take actions like authorized transactions, stuff like that. As Purito mentioned, the Circle team, they want to freeze the tokens as well, so they want change their compliance rules just for bringing on to one ecosystem, right? So that is
Yeah.
why we are building
Yeah.
this. And I was
Gotcha.
recently at Consensus, and when I was speaking to people about Cardano, they were like, "Wait, what the heck is Cardano?" Like people don't even give importance to stuff like that. Although Cardano is supposedly the most robust academia-backed blockchain with hands down the best community I've seen. But yeah, it's just not cooler. There has to be some element of coolness, and this kind of thing brings that when there are stable coins on top of Cardano with the bigger players in Cardano, then that makes it cooler in a sense. Like people can do a lot of stuff from there.
Yes, we certainly do need those stable coins in the ecosystem, and this definitely is a stepping stone towards it all. So hopefully this overall does have that expected outcome. So you guys will be delivering essentially an execution of the SIP 113 with a working prototype and programmable smart tokens delivered essentially on Minswap. Is that correct? That's the end outcome of this particular proposal.
Basically, yeah, because so CIP 113 is a tech advancement to the Cardano ecosystem, as in like Cardano now supports smart tokens. Now, our thing is, or our goal is to build a DEX that can bring those chains, like manage those assets and stuff like that. And it probably won't be the same interface as Minswap. It will be from Minswap and for like Minswap stuff. but it won't be the same interface, like combined interface as we have right now. It will be a different one. So we'll be
Right.
building a DEX from the ground up, all the UI and the code and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. All right. Interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing this one hopefully get voted for, because this is something we really need. Any other comments in regards to this particular proposal, guys?
Yes, so about this proposal, we're teaming up with Fluid Tokens. They are some of the greatest developers on Cardano. And how we made the deal is they will be doing pretty much all the smart contract development, while Minswap Labs, we do the marketing. For example, we wrote the proposal, as well as it will be ultimately a Minswap product in the Minswap UI. So right now, actually, in the Minswap UI, there are two smart contracts. There's the stable swap and the constant product DEX. So similarly, we can, as seamless as right now we have two DEXs pretty much in one UI, we could add this third one. So regarding like how the implementation would be super seamless for the users. You could be swapping the smart tokens without even realizing you're using a different smart contract.
And that's a perfect execution of it. I don't want to know what's happening under the hood. I just want my gains and whatnot from my trades. So this all sounds really good, guys.
So the CIP 113 proposal that we are talking about, that proposal has actually been co-authored by the CEO of Fluid Tokens, Matthew Kopala, and he's on our side. So we'll have like basically the person who wrote the proposal is also helping us build the DEX.
Highly encourage anyone that's interested in this one to look at the particular CIP 113 as well as the Minswap Fluid Tokens proposal to check it out and hopefully have it on your shortlist for voting in Fund 12. Now, this next one here, this one is around the Minswap iOS app. And I thought this one's quite interesting because a lot of users purely use DeFi, crypto trading. They all do it on their mobile phones. So what is this one all about, guys?
So this proposal came because we realized we have a majority of users of Minswap are actually on mobile. That might be surprising to some. And then we analyzed how many are actually using Safari or browsers versus the Minswap native app, because we have one for Android. And we realized 1/3 of people using Minswap are using it through Safari, which is not the best experience, right? So we thought we really need to make an iOS app. We think it will be huge for adoption of Minswap and henceforth also for Cardano. And that's where this proposal came from. Now, developing an iOS app, it requires quite some cost. It's not as easy as the Android. That's why we thought we should get a funding from Catalyst proposal.
Gotcha. So this will be like a natively built iOS app, not like a wrapper kind of thing, a progressive web app or something like that. So a native iOS app that takes advantage of the actual security of the device itself.
Exactly, no, you're absolutely right. So we already have an Android app. We are not trying to turn that into like basically a workable version of iOS app. No, we are not trying to do that. We are trying to build a native iOS optimized app for Minswap Desk with like all different kind of features, not just security. Like we'll also have stuff like biometric security, push notifications and stuff like that, wherein they could like swap tokens with a few clicks and like making it super optimized and native to the mobile users as much as possible, because mobile phones are our lifelines right now. Cardano DeFi is already behind in terms of when it compared to other DeFi ecosystem and stuff like that. So by building a dedicated and robust mobile app natively for that purpose, we are not just removing a barrier to entry for people in Cardano DeFi. We are also like making them stay there in it for the long term, because uh, we are providing them with native experience. They don't have to go to they can just like with a few clicks in their mobile phones do swaps, do stuff like that.
How would the wallet experience work? So would I have to use like the Minswap wallet or something, or a wallet built into the app? Could I use Vespa? Like, I'm just trying to work out how that would work on the mobile experience.
Yeah, so like on Android, we have the Minswap wallet and we have the Minswap app. You can use both at the same time, or you can just use the Minswap wallet. This would be a standalone app. Um, it's best if you use it with Minswap wallet itself for the best experience. I have to check with the developers if the Minswap app is compatible with other wallets. I am pretty sure it should be on mobile, but I have to check that again. And it's probably something we should work on in the long term because we want people who are using the Minswap iOS app to be able to use other wallets as well, although we have our own one.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine how that end experience will work and what type of experience the user will have at the end. But either way, I think full mobile experience natively on iOS is going to be really impactful for users, especially with these stats that you're talking about. Like 1/3 of users using Safari browser for their trading. That's that can't be a nice experience. I can't do any of my trades or any DeFi on a mobile device. I just hate it. I have to do it on a desktop device. So it's going to be quite interesting. I think very impactful. Is there anything else that we need to know about this particular proposal?
Yeah, just to add on top of that, on top of what you guys already mentioned, so there is actually another main problem that we are forgetting as well. So like we are mentioning that 1/3 of our users use, like, 45% of our total users are actually mobile users, and 1/3 of our total users are using Safari. So like that's pretty drastic stats over here, and we can conclude from that part at all. So, but there is another thing apart from that. So like there was a recent ban on PWAs, which is progressive web applications, in regions like EU, where people cannot just access DeFi at all. So like we are also building an application specifically for those people who cannot access progressive web apps and use Minswap DEX or stuff
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah.
So like we wanna cover, like, Cardano is supposed to be truly global, right? So we don't wanna leave any reasons behind, and EU is a pretty big reason. So we are also trying to focus on that and like not exclude those audience, and at the same time also provide a very optimized experience to the already existing users. We have 1/3 of them.
All right, very cool indeed. Yeah, it's going to be a very good experience. I can't wait to see this one in action. I know what you guys are building in overall is quite nice in terms of UI and UX experience. So a native mobile experience is going to be very good for users overall. So I encourage anyone that is interested in that one to also shortlist it for their voting in Fund 12. And now this last proposal here, this one's are more on the technical side of things, I think. And I'd like to understand how this one will be used by users and what type of impact it is. And this is the Minswap SDK for stable swaps and AMV2 and LBEV2. So, what is this, and and how people are going to benefit from it?
Yeah, so SDK, for those who don't know, it means Software Development Kit. And it's basically a tool for the software developers. We want to do it for the Minswap V2, the Stable Swap, and the LBE V2. All of those have been previously funded by Catalyst, and V2 and Stable Swap pretty much complete. Now the next step is to give the developers tools to use those products in a very seamless way. So, for example, using the SDK, if there is somebody that wants to spin up a service where you can very quickly create new coins and new liquidity pools, they don't need to do it manually through the app. They can just connect to the Minswap SDK and do that. Or, for example, if there's somebody that wants to retrieve data about the liquidity pools on Minswap, they can use the SDK. So, or for example, for the LBEV2, if somebody wants to very quickly use the liquidity bootstrapping event, they can do that as well. So it's mostly a tool for developers, but we think if we make it very easy for other developers to build on top of Minswap, that will really increase the adoption of Minswap and Cardano as a whole. We're seeing lots of services pop up on Solana, one of them called Pump.fun, where, yeah, there are platforms built on top of DEXs that very quickly enable you to create a new coin. So If we have an SDK, something like that would be very easy to build on top of Minswap. You can also do other use cases, for example, connect to leverage. So lending borrowing protocol could very easily integrate with Minswap through the SDK. So it has many different use cases, but it's mostly something for developers.
Gotcha. Okay, so this will not so much cross-chain interoperability, but cross-DApp interoperability within the Cardano ecosystem. That is cool. So like
Yeah,
I could launch a token on a launch pad of something, and that automatically integrate and add in the liquidity to a LP, a liquidity pool, right after the TGE or something, token generation event.
Yeah, you could automate everything like that through the SDK.
and not only that, like not only the DApp interoperability, the SDK is also there for our own like usability, like the user's usability, scalability, and trading experience. So you see, like the problem with our current applications or current DeFi applications in Cardano, including the ones that we have or we are building for, they lack cross-chain or they lack like off-chain tools. And this lacking of off-chain tools translate to limitations for users such as difficulty in obtaining accurate price data, real-time price data for stable
Mm,
coins or liquidity
yep.
pools. And like another could be lack of historical data for people or for anyone to make informed trade decisions because there is not enough historical data for that purpose, and like manual order management on AMMV2 and stuff like that. And when you combine these limitations on a broader scale, these come to like bigger problems for the wider Cardano DeFi, such as scalability, usability, and trading experience. Scalability, as in like we won't be able to handle a huge number of user activity if we don't have off-chain tools. Usability, as in um, like there are lack of tools, for example, lack of historical price feed for users to make informed decisions. And trading experience, as in like if people have more data, if people have more tools in hand, and it's seamless, then their trading experience is 10 times increased thus forth.
Wow. Okay. I could see this being very beneficial for automated trading or bot style trading as well, which I kind of lean to because it takes the emotion away. Um, this is really good, guys. It will make things a lot easier for any of the traders out there and developers, like you said, who will most likely pick this up and play around with it and build some really cool things on top of it all. So this is definitely another one that's going to have a lot of impact, especially for Minswap, considering that other projects will be able to integrate directly into the underlying layers of Minswap and do some really cool stuff. Is there anything else that we need to know about this one, guys?
Just to iterate what we have already seen, like there is two branch stuff for the SDK proposal. There is one for developers, which fosters a building of projects and products on top of seamlessly, and there is one on the other side for users or traders who we are providing them with more or better trading experience, basically, after building this off-chain tools.
I'll put the links and references to everything that we've spoken about in the show notes for this one. Guys, do you have any final words for the listeners before we sign off on this interview?
Yes, sure. Please vote for our proposals. Minswap Labs have been building on Cardano more than 3 years now. I think we built a great product. Actually, Minswap V1 that has become the most large DEX on Cardano. It would not have been possible without Catalyst. Received in Fund 5, I think, 50,000 US dollar, and without that, we wouldn't have been able to launch the DEX. But thankfully, Cardano community voted for us, and we were able to do this project. Since then, we have continued with this ethos of community driven. We've never sold tokens to venture capital or something like that, and we always proud ourselves that we are very community driven. We take community feedback, and we use tools like Catalyst for funding. We don't sell tokens to private investors. So yeah, we hope you keep supporting us, building these tools, both for Minswap and Cardano.
And like how Adrian said, we are community driven. I'll just add like Minsap is where we are at just because of you people, just because of the community support and we would be nowhere without your support. We really, really value that a lot. And me speaking personally, Cardano is bullish. I'm not speaking on anything else. Just me, my personal opinion. Cardano is bullish. There is a lot of things that's coming up, and we are gonna target the other DeFi and bring people on board. So stay tuned for many different things.
Yes, most definitely check out the other proposals that Minswap's all involved in. I did a video on it recently, so if you haven't seen that one, please check that one out. Links in the show notes. It should appear in the top right-hand corner of this video is here as well, so you can see exactly what's going on in the Minswap ecosystem all around Catalyst. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode, and good speaking to you virtually on video for once.
No, absolutely, Peter. Thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for having us here. It was a blast.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys.